whenever you have poultry, you're going to get rodents. They're attracted to the feed and to the birds themselves. So that's something you need to deal with. The problem with rodents is they're very ingenious and very creative, and if they don't have a lot of food, other food around, they will keep working on a way to get into a cage, to get into the feed, wherever you've got it stored. Very resourceful, very tenacious. So it's good to actually deal with them. So setting a trap is probably the best way. In my area I have a lot of rats, not so much mice. I don't see many mice here, but I do have a lot of rats. They're not the big ones that would kill the birds, but they do get in, and I have seen them eat some of my eggs, and they do steal a lot of food if they get in. And whilst there's a bit of other food around, they haven't been too bad lately, but I've actually been catching quite a few that have been trying to get around some of the chicken feed, so I'm dealing with that. So what I like to do is trap them, kill them in a trap. There are the old wooden traps where the whole thing would sling over. I have tried those, but I find the actual release of energy tends to flip the trap, and often it's just not effective. It tends to throw the rat away, and the trap goes off and has a really low hit rate. You can put them side by side to try and get it from the other angle. I did go to the plastic ones, the ones that are essentially jaws, and they clamp down when it gets hit in here, and this will shut down and crush them. Again, the problem with that was often it would bounce because it wasn't held down, and also when I'd have these out in the open, I was always at the risk of, I need to be careful that the chickens didn't wander over to it, so I had to kind of block it off. But then at night I found that a lot of the possums were getting in there too, because the possums would go for the food, but this trap would do nothing to a possum but just annoy it. And so the possums were setting these off a lot, and they'd just get frightened and run away. So I did away with these. I went to more of the box with the actual traps inside the box. It's a similar trap to the other one, and it has a key and it opens it up. And this one, I'll bring it in, there's actually a dead rat in this one. I found it this morning. So it works more effectively because it holds it in place. There are other ones, more expensive ones, where you can trap a larger cage, where you can trap a rat live, but I don't like the idea of that because quite frankly, dealing with a live rat, I've had to kill a few myself, live ones, and they move around quite a lot. It's quite hard to actually do, and when they do, they scream a lot, and it's not real pleasant. So it's better off if they're just dead straight up. And the other ones are these ones that have electric currents, actually electrocutes the rat or the mouse. Yeah, again, you need to charge with that, so they're more expensive, but I found this type of setup quite effective. So you can see there's a key here. You open that up and you can see where I've got a rat in here. It's actually somehow got hit at the back end, so this one is dead. So I need to take that out. Usually the head gets caught in there, so yeah, that's going to be a little bit tricky to get that rat out of there without setting off the trap. So it's a small one, that one. So I would normally set the feed in there. Be careful not to get in. It's eating out a fair bit of it, and the rat runs up, runs in here because it puts its head in sideways. Usually the head, I don't know how this one got its back end in there. It must have come over here, and usually the head gets in there and it doesn't. This gets locked in place, so when it flips down, it doesn't jump, so it gets a nice steady drop and release and just slams it down and breaks the neck of the rat. So that's what I want to do with these rats. I will just leave this out in the yard because the crows will come and get rid of this within 20 minutes. It'll be gone. So I don't actually even have to bury them. The birds will take it away. The other thing I don't like to use is poison, because again, that would poison my chickens. A rat might drag the poison into someone else's yard, and then who knows, a dog could get it, or even a wandering child or something, toddler. So I prefer this method. Doesn't harm anything else. It's quite selective. So this is the way to go, and I'm having success with that, obviously. So I'm just going to reset it. All I do is I just lower down some of this chicken feed. Careful not to set it off. And then I will close the lid. Turn the key so nothing will open it. And I keep this out here. Eventually another one will come up in here. And the beauty of this obviously is that it keeps the rain out too. So you can just sit it out for many days. Doesn't matter if it rains, it's all good. So I'll probably get another one the next day or two, I reckon. And I will keep protecting the birds.